You need to get into a habit of winning. If you get into a habit of losing, it's hard to break the habit. But SPEVCO has a habit of winning. What you do remember are the people. Trying to decide how good a leader you are. The experts say that you have to look at the people you're leading.
Marty, the team won't let you down.
There really wasn't a specific, plan. At that time, it was just, I was focused on doing something for a living that I really enjoyed doing and making a living doing it. In the early days, when I first started out, it was just me, and then just me and Craig, and then me and a couple other guys.
I mean, Marty and I, of course, were brothers, so we grew up together. And at that time, there were no vocational schools teaching, body work. He went to work for a friend of ours, but he was known as the best painter in Winston-Salem.
And he'd painted all the really cool cars around, so it was pretty easy. I wanted to learn to do the painting and the body work.
And opened a body shop and started, doing body work, painting nice cars, really, high-end stuff.
I remember being across the street and, I was watching him prime, watching him paint. I remember helping him pinstripe a Jaguar one time, and I was real young, and that was a bad day for me and him.
I do. It's not something I've tried to block that one out.
Him and Mike Lawson had just finished this Jaguar. Black, it was sleek, it was done. They pushed it out. The car looked so good, and I was like, man, it needs a pinstripe. So I took a rat tail file and I pinstriped beside that Jaguar. I gouged the paint all the way down each side of the car. I thought I was doing good.
Well, I mean, it was one of those things where it's a 5-year-old, and what do? All you can do is say you can't do that and then fix what he's messed up.
Luckily, Mike came out there and saw it. Mike put me in his truck and took me to the store for some Mountain Dew and candy so that I didn't get murdered by my dad they just finished painting, a money maker. As it progressed, it's always been around vehicles, and then the Winston Corporation was a huge, huge part of the company's, success.
We were doing right much work for Reynolds Tobacco Company. They had asked us about a simulator.
The simulator was the big break for us because it was so needed and it was so not wanted by the RJR people. What happened was I went down to Florida for a trade show and saw this simulator. Took a ride in it and immediately thought about, wow, we could actually give race fans a ride in a race car.
And it's one of the first motion-based simulators. This is like the coolest thing in the world. It's like a roller coaster and a video game all in one. And this is back when, we had Pong. But he loved it, and so he pitched it. He said, this is the next hot thing. You got to do it. You got to do it. And they ran and talked about it, and they were like, hey, we're just not interested. We're just not interested.
I went home one day and told Dare, I said, look, I'm never going to get this thing sold if we don't have one that we can actually take them for a ride. They've got to be able to feel the same thing I felt.
He felt so strongly about it, and this is kind of how Dad is, shows his character. He went and he refinanced the house. So yeah, he hocked their life to buy one of these simulators that they didn't want.
And it was just based on his belief that it was going to work, and or that we could make it work, So we invited the guys from Reynolds out to ride the simulator. The fans would come on and blow wind in your face and make you feel like you were going fast.
And one of the guys that was in sports marketing at the time, well, he was influential and he was not a fan. He didn't believe in this thing at all. So we were trying to enhance the ride a little bit the day that they all showed up.
So they all get in there, all these executives, and you can hear the tires squall at this one point.
And then when the car's like spinning out, I had a soldering iron. I'd take a piece of rubber, and burn the solder,
Pull the smell of the burning rubber into the simulator. And Jeff, the guy that I was most concerned about, when I opened the door, he said,
"Man, that is amazing. I could smell the rubber." It was like, I know. and they bought it. They said, "Yeah, we'll take it."
and it was so perfect because everybody that was involved in racing at the time had show cars. Reynolds used their show cars to promote, more sales at especially convenience stores. So this thing was perfect for being able to take it to we're going to give you guys a ride. We're not just going to show you a car. So it replaced the show car program.
What I'm getting at more than anything is that Marty laid everything on the table to make that happen. And that takes guts. That's one of the reasons I think that people follow him and are willing to go, the distance. He finds ways to get things done, and he's, pretty straight up about it.
Marty is, he's always been one to encourage the employees to look for the solution. Don't give me a problem, look for the solution.
He's not going to sit behind you and tell you how to make decisions. He trusts your decision. That's why you're here.
I appreciate the way they manage all of us. They give you the leeway to do your job. They don't micromanage, which is really never good for anybody. It kind of hinders your creativity and your ability to do your job.
You have to remind yourself that sometimes people do things way different than you would. If the end result is as good or better, then wonderful. So we've always encouraged people to go ahead, do it, and the worst that can happen is you have to redo it. What a great learning experience when you have to redo it. But even better when they do it, and they do it better than you could have done it to start with. And that happens.
The thing about working here is if you want to move forward and do something different and move up in the company, it's not just going to always fall in your lap. You have to strive for it. I used to tell Joe for years, I want your job, I want your job. And it finally hit home like nobody else wanted to take his place when he was going to retire, which we now know, unfortunately, he wasn't able to do that. But he would let you hang yourself. He'd give you as much rope as you needed. And I like that about working here because even Ty, Marty, Tucker, any of the managers, you really do run your own. It's almost like I run my own company down there.
They all allow you to do your job, and then after they allow you to do your job, if you fail, they do try to come back behind you and not say that, hey, you were wrong, but hey, let me show you what you did wrong. Let me show you how to do it the correct way.
It's something like your dad would do for you.
Darren's my son.
I heard that. I heard you guys like playing golf together.
I have some questions for Darren Fogel. Why are you trying to steal my father?
We're actually interviewing Darren again today.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why?
I just use him instead of you for this portion.
And that's how Marty's been since I met him in '96. It's just he empowers you to do things and expects you to do things, and you don't want to let him down.
I've never been hesitant to do anything they've asked me to do. I've worked 80 hours a week, whenever we needed to do it.
Whatever trailer that needed to be taken out on the road or set up at the shop for the clients or anything that was asked of me, I did it.
They have shown loyalty to me, and in turn, I feel like, I need to show some loyalty to them, do everything I can do to make everything successful.
I'm SPEVCO all the way, and I don't think that anybody here can say different that knows me. That's just me. That was the way that I was brought up and raised. If someone takes care of you, you take care of them.
Marty once told me one time when we was doing a project, and this has always stuck with me. When I was out there on the shop floor, I'd asked him how he wanted me to do something. He looked at me and he said, if you was buying it, how would you do it? And I told him, he said, well, that's exactly how I expect you to do it.
I think everybody feels like, and proudly so, they feel like they're held to a higher standard. Because of that, then they hold you to a higher standard.
I've been here, like I said, 30 years, and I just love it here. Enjoy the family. It's a family atmosphere, and We have fun, we cut up. I couldn't imagine going anywhere else and working.
SPEVCO has always been a family-oriented company.
It's the love at times. I mean, it's like working with family. You know what I mean? It's working side by side with people that you can trust. And I know that sounds funny after I just bashed on everybody's chili, but
Did you make a chili?
I made a chili. Only ate mine.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's
Lack of trust.
yeah. I don't know. It's like, it really is like working with family. Like, I've known Tucker and Ty more than half of my life.
I mean, I don't know how you could be treated any more like a family than these guys do. I mean, the way they treat their employees, Marty and Ty and Tucker, all those folks just treat us tremendously well. They try to do the best they can. I had a house fire last September on the 3rd, and we lost everything. And Marty was there. That day, he came over. And, I'm not an emotional person most of the time, but you know, it's a big deal for me that he would come out and do that kind of thing for me. You know, Marty has been probably one of the best owners that I've ever been associated with. I have a lot of respect for him and his family.
The family's never let me down, and so each and every day when I come to work, it's like I want to make sure that whatever I do today, I don't regret it tomorrow.
We're successful because it's, you know, you'll hear, you know, family oriented, and it's a family company, and that is what gives us strength. And it's all just values that he's kind of ingrained in this company and in the leadership.
You know, I think it is in my personality. I care about how people feel about what they're doing.
I love what we do for different folks. You know, we have different programs now that reach a lot of high school students to teach them about different technical trades. And that's a wonderful thing to do. You know, a lot of years we're pushing different products, and now we're out trying to reach children to show them a different way and what you can do when you graduate high school, and that means a lot too.
The FEMA trailers, the Hurricane Katrina relief, that was just a super proud moment.
We built a mobile medical center that was deployed to Louisiana, Mississippi, and to take care of people. And to see something that you built with your own hands help somebody was very heartfelt.
Being able to, I mean, when there's a natural disaster going on and you feel helpless and suddenly there's something you can do, boy, that's a neat feeling, and I'm glad I got to be a part of that.
So I feel like Marty and the boys, I think, make everyone feel a part of the company.
I mean, SPEVCO is all of the different craftspeople and financial people, and
it's everybody. You know, it's the maintenance department, the ops department, you know, the manufacturing. Yeah, I mean, the list is so long that, you know, to specifically hit on each one would take a while, but you can just walk the floor now.
He feels, you know, kind of a debt, not just of gratitude, but a debt to these people, to the people that work here.
I think they follow by nature kind of how he built this company. It's just be proud of your work, and that's why we're still here, actually.
I think that's what Marty really relies on too. He really wants a consistent thing, and that gives him a lot of confidence in what he's leaving us, you know, since he's kind of stepping away and letting Ty run the company.
I believe that Marty over the years has put the right people in place that he knew would stick with him. I'm just glad that the boys have stepped up and want to run this company.
When Ty was working in the body shop, and for the longest time, he just always told me, I don't care about running this company. I just want to punch the clock, get my paycheck, and go home.
To me, Ty made a big turn. You know, I think that early on, like so many, I think, children of business owners, he just didn't want anything to do with, you know, I'm going to do my own thing.
And one day, out of the clear blue, he walks into my office and closes the door and sits down and says, I think I'm ready. And turns out he was. And of course, it wasn't anything immediate, you know. It took years of watching and paying attention to what he was doing and seeing what kind of reaction he was getting from the employees.
It was a really good transition. I mean, everybody likes Ty. everybody gets along with Ty. I mean, if you know him, you can kind of understand he's pretty laid back and super smart, which I really like. And he does the same thing that his dad did. He just kind of lets you do your thing, and he lets you do the same thing, just manage your own department.
And we went through a period, the succession part, and Ty was going to be the, the president or to take over the shop.
I know that Marty had a person come and he worked with Ty and the company, kind of like reorganizing and getting things on track and getting Ty focused in the right way, seeing things in the right way and doing things in the right way.
But he really cares about what he's doing. I think he really cares about the people, and I think everybody feels that.
It is a big responsibility, and if there's 100 people working here, then there's at least 300 people, relying on this place and the decisions that are made for their livelihood. And I would say that's the biggest, that's what weighs on me more than anything, is just trying to keep the company fed so it keeps everybody else fed.
But I'm extremely proud of him. He's done a great job.
Yeah, it would be definitely difficult, even with Joe. Like, it's not like he wanted to let the reins go and let somebody else start making decisions. That wasn't easy for him either. And I'm sure it wasn't particularly easy for Marty. I mean, you've started this thing since, 73? And to just kind of say, I'm going to be here, but in the background, you're going to run it, it's got to be difficult.
It's hard to let go, too. I feel kind of weird not going there every day. And I think I probably always will. I mean, people ask me, well, how much longer are you going to work? I'll say, hey, till my toes turn up, man. It's not work. The thing that it resonates for me is how far it's gone. It's, like I said, it's so far beyond what I could do. We've just got such a great group of people put together that with spectacular leadership and loyalty and willing to do just about anything you ask them to do. And it's extremely fulfilling. Just extremely proud and blessed, way blessed.
Special years. Happy birthday, SPEVCO.
I like to talk to people. I don't know. I'm sure plenty of people who know me here know that's true.
Tucker talks too much, I know that.
I'd come from college and playing sports. I've heard that story many times. Saw him, he was 10 feet tall, not a rubber mouth. I think with kids now that I am a dad, I think Tom Cruise, and you wouldn't know who Tom Cruise is. Losing is almost better. See my lips quivering. When it would snow when we were young, first thing we'd do is get a chainsaw. Boy, that's a neat feeling, and I'm glad I got to be a part of that. I don't know, what was the original question?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Tucker's a weird one.
Can y'all get me out of here? They won't let me leave. They haven't fed me in like 3 weeks.
Sit in your chair.